Hello, everybody. Brenna here from Mad as a Bren. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about luck. Not exactly good luck. You know the saying, if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck at all? Well, that comes into tie here. We're going to be talking about bad luck. So get out your ethically sourced sage or your Palo Santo, knock 3 times, spit on the ground, throw salt over your left shoulder, whatever it is you have to do to prepare yourself, because we're going to be talking about bad luck for the next, 20 to 30 minutes. So let's dive in. Now, I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. See what I did there? Did you know that 25% of the US population is superstitious? The more you know. So the first superstition that we're going to cover today is breaking a mirror. And if you've ever broken a mirror, either on purpose or by accident, then I'm sure you have been paranoid or nervous about the 7 years of bad luck that is sure to follow. Or at least that's what we've been told since we were little, that if you break a mirror, you're gonna have 7 years of bad luck. But where did this superstition come from in the first place? Well, in order to figure that out, let's reflect on how humans used to think back in the day. Get it? Reflect. See what I did there? Man, I crack myself up. Get it? Crack. All right, so what if humans used to see their reflections and think, holy shit, is that my soul? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But hypothetically speaking, if you used to see your reflection in something and then something bad happened to that image, and you thought that that image was a representation of your soul, it would make sense to think that now something bad's going to happen to you. Mirrors were also thought to have magical powers. Look at children's movies. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? They've also been thought of as a way to see the future or a device from the gods. So you break a mirror, the magic is gone. Another not so fun fact about breaking a mirror is it's also thought that the last person's reflection that the mirror held is now going to be doomed with misfortune for all of eternity. Or maybe not all of eternity, maybe only 7 years, but where did we get the number 7 from in the first place? The Greeks and the Romans. This superstition dates all the way back to 2,000 to 2,700 years ago, give or take a few. Remember how we mentioned powers? Well, the ancient Greece and the Roman Empire both thought that mirrors held these mysterious powers. Roman artists were the first who learned to make mirrors through polished metal surfaces, so they thought that the gods were watching their souls through these mirrors. Therefore, if you break a mirror, then the gods were going to send bad luck down upon you. So, of course, when mirrors were made from polished metal, you're not going to have damage or breaks that often. But now when mirrors started being made from glass, you're probably going to see breaks all the time, as we know today. But Brenna, you still didn't mention why 7 years. You're right, I didn't, but I will right now. Romans thought that life reset itself after 7 years. So you break a mirror, your bad luck will reset in 7 years and you'll be good to go. That's where we get 7 years. Side note, since we're talking about 7 years, have you all ever heard of the 7-year itch, where supposedly in a marriage, after 7 years, a man will get the urge to just dip out and start a new life? Or think about the 7th inning stretch in baseball. Something to consider. All right, next up, we're going to talk about ladders. We all know what happens when you walk under a ladder. You shit yourself. I'm just kidding. We all know what happens when you walk under a ladder. You get bad luck, which is what this video is about. So we know what happens when you walk under a ladder, but why do you get bad luck? Where does this superstition trace back to? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. So this superstition's origin can be traced all the way back to ancient Egypt, and it was thought that the curved shape of a ladder could resemble something like a portal that could allow evil spirits to travel through it. I don't really think ladders are curved. Maybe they used to be. I mean, they're like diagonal. I don't really think that they're curved, but I don't know. What do I know? I just work here. But of course, that's not the only bad luck that has been associated with ladders. The Middle Ages. The Middle Ages, I feel like, thought everything was bad luck. So during the Middle Ages in Europe, if you leaned a ladder against a structure that was unfinished, that was representative of God's work being incomplete, and it was an insult to the presence of God beneath the ladder. That one confuses me a little bit. The presence of God beneath the ladder? I don't know. I don't know about that. Also, let us not forget that ladders were used by executioners, omens of death and destruction. Death and dying. So old folklore superstitions thought that if the rung of a ladder broke, then it would create an opening for bad luck and evil spirits to come into your life through it. Again with portals. We like the idea of things forming portals and then bad shit coming into your life through it. Some Christian beliefs think that the ladder can be a symbol of the Holy Trinity being broken. So you will have bad luck until you restore it and fix the triangle of a ladder. That one confuses me too. Next up on our list, a bird flying into your house. Birds flying into your houses, you guessed it, bad luck. In Celtic cultures, if a bird flew into your house, it was a sign of death or the impending arrival of good or bad news. So it could go both ways there. Or someone could die. They thought that crows would warn them of a future defeat in battle or of bloodshed. In Ireland, if a bird gets into your house, it could mean death, but it could also mean extreme bad luck. More so for women, but I'm not sure why. I also read that this superstition was so accepted that under the ancient Brehon law, if you were an unwed woman who fell pregnant, if you could prove that you had been frightened by a bird flying into your home, then you would be cleared of all accusations of any wrongdoings or misdeeds. A judge would mandate that your virginity was intact and would no longer be in question. I don't really know what to say about that one. Blackbirds are often associated with the devil or with evil, which sucks for magpies, crows, and ravens. Ravens are coincidentally my favorite. I am named after a raven. Brenna means raven in Gaelic. And my name is Brenna, for those that don't know. Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. There's a tradition of saluting magpies, and then the old nursery rhyme about magpies that goes, 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, 4 for a boy, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a secret never to be told. A longer version of the rhyme recorded in Lancashire continues, 8 for a wish, 9 for a kiss, 10 a surprise you should be careful not to miss, 11 for health, 12 for wealth, 13 beware, it's the devil himself. The nursery rhyme is counting the number of magpies seen to let you know if you'll have good luck or bad luck. Fun fact, the earliest version of this rhyme was recorded in 1780. It was a note on John Brand's observation of popular antiquities. All right, next up on our list of superstitions, we're going to talk about one of my first loves, gemstones. I had a really bad obsession with gemstones at one point. I like to hyperfixate on things. You'll find that out about me. But I had a very bad obsession, and the amount of money that I spent on gemstones, we're not going to talk about it. It's bad. It got really bad. I do have a lot of cool gemstones, but now I'm out of that gemstone phase, and I have a house full of rocks that I don't know how to resell. Some of them are collectors, I will say. But anyways, moving on, gemstones, we're talking about bad luck. We are talking about gemstones, but we're talking about bad luck with gemstones. Let's go. So I love all rocks. Love all gemstones, little rocks you find in a creek, sparkly stones, anything from nature. Love them all. I personally do think that they have some magical and healing properties. I realize I'm a scientist. I can still think that, and it can still be okay. And that is my opinion. Not everyone thinks that. That's all right. That's not a big deal. I have opinion. I'm allowed to have opinions that aren't scientifically proven. That's okay. It's not hurting anybody. Plus, this episode isn't really even science related. This episode is in the mystery file. We're putting this in the cryptids in the mystery file in our YouTube, not in the science folder. So technically, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Don't worry, I have a permit. Good job. Okay. We're getting way off topic here. You need to stop. So, how do gemstones and bad luck coincide? That's what we're here to discuss. So, let's start with opals. I love opals. My mama has put the love of opals into me. We love an opal. But we're here to talk about how opals pertain to bad luck. So, opals were originally seen as bad luck, they were thought of as evil. White opals are said to bring bad luck if they're worn by anyone who wasn't born in the month of October. My mom's born in October, so that's fine. No worries there. It's also bad luck if you wear white opals with diamonds. So, if you're currently wearing white opals with diamonds, stop it. You want to have an opal in your engagement ring? Think again. Bad luck. Bad luck. So why do we have such a bad reputation in the first place? Not we. Why do opals? I do. I did. I don't. Redo. Rewind. Fast forward. So why do opals have such a bad reputation in the first place? Witchcraft. Or what we used to call witchcraft that wasn't actually witchcraft. Supposedly, word on the street is that witches and warlocks used black opals to increase their own magical properties or to focus their energy like superheroes using a laser beam to harm people. In medieval Europe, they thought that the opal looked a little too close to the dreaded evil eye. It resembles the eyes of cats, toads, snakes, goats, creatures from hell. Yeah, so opals were thought of as bad luck. I love opals. So what about gemstones other than our friend the opal? Well, if you place a diamond under your pillow, it will betray an unfaithful wife. So women who were cheating, probably don't sleep with your wedding ring on just in case. Or don't cheat. Either one will work, I'm sure. So do not use pearls in your wedding or engagement ring, and you're not really supposed to give them as a gift either. Pearls represent tears and sadness, things that you don't want on your wedding day, unless they're tears of joy. But still, we should probably stay away from the pearls just to be safe. Another thing, circling back to our opal friend, you're not supposed to give opals as a gift either. Opals or pearls are a no-go when it comes to gifts. So they will apparently bring bad luck unless you purchase them yourself. So if you hate someone, you should gift them opals or pearls. How will they know? They'll never know. Unless they watch my video. Then you're screwed. So let's say you've already been given pearls or opals as a gift and you want to love and cherish them. Brenna, what do I do? Well, you gift the person who gave them to you a small amount of money to kind of even out the playing field, even out the bad luck. Yeah, it like kind of counteracts the bad luck, and now you get to wear your pearls and love them and cherish them forever. Or your opals. You're welcome. So this isn't bad luck related, but it's cool. On the website I was reading, it says that rubies will change color when you're wearing them according to your health at the moment. So if you think that you're healthy and then your ruby changes color, think again. Emeralds are said to relieve pain if worn during childbirth. Apparently, they are thought to help cure epilepsy or dysentery or heal you from a venomous snake bite. And somehow help blind people. Didn't know that. It didn't go into detail on how, though, so I don't know how accurate that is, or any of this is. I mean, quite frankly, this is superstitious. It's not factual. Pearls are also said to help madness for going a little crazy. Placing a pearl under the pillow is said to increase fertility and increase the likelihood of conception. It's funny because in my notes, like the script, in my notes from when I originally wrote this way back, I put, I may or may not have to try that. And now I have Gus, who is a 10-month-old. No pearls were involved. Sorry, that's a lot. Moving on. Opals are said to somehow help blondes maintain hair color. I don't know how. Some think that they will turn a shade pale if there is poison present. The opal's not the hair color. Some think that opals will turn a shade paler if there is poison present, not your beautiful blonde roots and hair. Oh, this one made me sad. Opals will lose their shine when their owner dies. That's sad. All right, next up on our list of superstition, bad luck, and everything in between is stepping on a crack. You step on a crack, you break your mother's back, and you're a piece of shit. I still to this day will not step on a crack when I'm walking on the sidewalk. I do this weird little strut walk where I try to go on everyone in between, but then my length of my legs don't match up with my steps, and I end up tripping a little bit. It's weird the way my bank account's set up. So this superstition is said to originate from European and African folklore. Cracks in the earth were seen as portals to the supernatural realm. There again with the portals. So many portals, so many different walks of life and different cultures. All of the portals, so many portals. So not just cracks on sidewalk or asphalt, but anywhere on the ground, period, were thought to be portals. So if you stepped on a crack, you could possibly release bad spirits into the world. Everything is always about releasing bad spirits. These spirits were either going to hurt you or they were going to do great harm to your family, neither of which is a good thing. Next up on our list is green cars. I had never heard of green cars being superstitious or a bad thing ever, but apparently it is. In Ireland, in NASCAR, with peanuts, it's a bad thing. We're going to dive into all of it. People of Ireland, is this true? Are green cars bad? Do you all drive green cars? Let me know. Green makes me think of Irish, luck of the Irish. I am curious. Please comment and let me know. Some of the things I read say that there is a fear that the car will somehow blend in with the background of scenery in the environment and you won't be as visible. Therefore, you'll be more likely to be hit. There is no correlation between green cars and accidents. If anything, statistically speaking, it seems that black cars are more likely to be involved in an accident. I also saw that racing, it was a superstition at one point, but that seems to be fading out. So Gaston Chevrolet, the Indianapolis 500 champion, was driving a green car when he was killed in Beverly Hills in 1920. This is supposedly when the superstition came about. Tim Richmond apparently refused to drive a Folgers decaffeinated car because it was the color green, so he settled instead on the regular Folgers brand car since it was red and white. I don't know if I'm saying Folgers right. Folgers, the coffee company. Folgers. I have an accent. I'm not really sure if I'm saying it right or not, but you all are picking up what I'm putting down. So we just mentioned NASCAR, and I mentioned peanuts ahead of time, but what's the deal with peanuts and NASCAR? We're going to dive into it because it's next on the list. Our next superstition is NASCAR peanuts. You do not eat peanuts around a NASCAR driver's car. Point blank, period. You just don't do it. Larry McReynolds says David Pearson would go berserk if he saw you with peanuts around his race car. He was not happy about peanuts at all. Davey wasn't real fond of peanuts or peanut shells, but not to the extent that Pearson was. He goes on to say, I never heard Earnhardt or Airvan say anything about them. I haven't heard much about peanuts for years from the younger generation. It's mostly the retired ones or veterans we have now. Pearson was just very superstitious. So this superstition may have stemmed during the 1940s and early 1950s after a series of deaths where they found peanuts in the race cars. Word spread and the peanuts in race cars came to an end. So there are theories about how they got into the cars, that they were purchased from people at a concession stand and then thrown onto the tracks. That doesn't really make sense to me, but again, who knows? Not me. Not me. So next up on our list is boats and bananas. And I had never heard of this one, but upon reflection, I realized that anytime I go scuba diving, there are fruit and water always on the boat. But of those fruits, there are never bananas. There's oranges, which at the time didn't seem weird to me, but now reflecting, I'm like, I wonder if that's because of the superstition. But why do sailors view bananas on boats as bad luck or as an omen of death? So this goes back to the 18th century, to something I would chalk up as coincidence. Sailors would notice that when they would come across a shipwreck, there would be bananas floating in the water around them. But maybe their superstition isn't uncalled for after all, because bananas do pose unnecessary risks. They could have venomous spiders on them. That is a stretch, but not that far of a stretch. Because, like, imported and exported, you always get bugs and spiders, creepy crawlies along with you. So I can see that one. That one could be plausible. Also, what about potential ethylene gas? That may or may not be used to ripen bananas. I'm not 100% sure on that one. So it caused problems with vessels carrying fruit because when the bananas produce this gas, it causes the fruits around them to ripen as well. And then by the end of the trip, you have a bunch of rotten fruit. That is, if you even make it that far, because rotten fruit creates alcohol fermentation, which is combustible. And let's just say you have a lantern nearby, or some oil spills out of your lantern. You get the picture. You're gonna die. So regardless of their reasoning, if a sailor found a banana stowed away somewhere aboard their vessel, they would often turn the ship around and go back to shore, returning where they came from because they are so superstitious. They're not a little stitious, they're superstitious. I need to stop making that joke because it's gotten old. It's old. Stop trying to make The Office happen, Brenna. It's not going to happen. We are getting towards the end of our list, therefore the end of our video. Next superstition is rats. Ah, yes, rats. So when you think of rats, I'm sure the majority of you who have never snuggled those sweet little babies probably associate them with bad things, disease, dirt, annoyance. After all, they were blamed for spreading of the bubonic plague. Even though rats are super smart, super cool, and actually very clean animals, they are associated with bad luck. According to Celtic mythology, rats can predict your death. If a ship was about to sink, the rats would know before the sailors would know, and the rats would get the hell out of Dodge. They would also apparently leave houses if a death was about to occur, which is kind of ironic because you don't want rats in your house, but then at the same time, you don't want rats to leave your house because then you're about to die, maybe. It's a toss-up. It's a flip of a coin, the price you pay for having or not having rats. And if a rat left your house and you had a family out sailing the seven seas somewhere, they were going to die. So didn't have to be worried about yourself, but if you see one crawl out of your house and you got someone out sailing seas, just count their days. Count their days. By the time you even send them a letter, they'll be gone. What can you do? Pity. If you see any rats nibbling on your curtains, drapes, etc., this was also a sign that a death will occur in the house. So how to avoid rats in the house? Well, there's a poem, of course, a Scott poem that goes, "Rats and mice, leave this poor person's home. Go away over to the mill, and there you'll all get your fill." This will definitely banish all the rats and the mice from the general vicinity. No worries there, I've tried it. Oh my God, I thought we were almost done and we still have 4 more to cover. I picked 13. Of course I picked 13. I picked 13. I took 9. All right, next on our list is weddings, superstitions pertaining to weddings. We all know about bad luck wedding superstitions. Don't show your groom your dress before the big day. Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. But did you know that finding a spider on your dress is considered good luck on your wedding day? Bet you didn't. You do now? That's cute. I like that. It's sweet. I have pet spiders. I was going to reach for one of my spiders, but I'm using her to prop up my phone. Anyways, moving on. It's too bad this episode is about bad luck, or I would go into detail, but I'm not, because that's for the next episode. The next episode's about good luck. You better tune in. You better find out. We're going to get our luck back. So we previously discussed not wearing pearls on your wedding day. You also shouldn't see each other the day before the wedding. Let's go over some things I hadn't heard of before, though. Using your married name before the wedding is bad luck. So all those times in high school you used to like doodle your partner's name or your name and then their last name in cursive. Don't do that. That's the reason it didn't work out, is because you doodled your name with their last name when you were 16 in high school. That is the only reason it didn't work out. And now you have to live with that. Apparently, in medieval Europe, if you did this, then your marriage would be cursed. So just don't tempt fate. Pass up on that monogrammed pillow until you are officially married, or your marriage is going down the drain. You should also never give the happy couple knives on their wedding day or as a wedding gift. It is said to cause the couple to fight and argue, unless you secretly hate the happy couple and you want to object, but you're too nervous to object. So you're trying to find an alternative way to do so, then gift the happy couple knives. You're welcome. Another thing, do not cross paths with a monk or a nun on your wedding day. It's bad. Crossing a religious person's path on your wedding day is said to bring you bad luck, or at least that's what medieval Europe thought. And have they ever been wrong? All right, we're getting close to the end. Number 11 is sneezing. Why do we say bless you? Why do we say gesundheit? I don't know, but I'm about to tell you, and then we'll both know. So let's circle back to that bubonic plague we were talking about. What if sneezing was a sign that you had the plague? So, of course, a blessing would offer you a peace and compassion on the way to your inevitable death. Too bad sneezing wasn't a symptom of the plague. I mean, not too bad. I said that weird. I feel like it more so came from wanting to be protected from evil in this world. In medieval time periods, if you sneezed, your soul could be projected outside of your body, and then evil can attach to it, and you can become possessed. And we don't want that, so we say, bless you, blessums. And then you're saved. We just saved your soul. It was also thought that sneezing could like project the demon outside of your body. So this blessing was protecting you from it entering inside you again. Number 12 on our list is black cats. Again, another superstition from medieval times. We have quite the theme today. So there are many superstitions surrounding black cats. Are they witches in disguise? Are they witch familiars? They too are associated with bad luck and with death. In 16th century Italy, if a black cat laid on your sickbed, you were going to die. I actually believe that one. Cats can sense things that we can't, but that's neither here nor there. In modern-day North America, if a black cat crosses your path, it is bad luck. I was always told to cross them out with an X to counteract the bad luck. Like, if you're cruising and a cat crosses the street, you do a quick whoop whoop, and then there's no bad luck. And if you don't do it, that's on you. Don't say I didn't warn you. If you see a black cat during a funeral procession, a family member of yours will surely die. Surely. Don't call me Shirley. And lastly, if you see a black cat walking away from you, that's a bad omen too. I used to have a black cat as a pet, may he rest in peace. And he walked away from me all the time, which is probably why I'm in the position that I'm in life, let's be honest. It be your own cat. Number 13 on our list is the number 13. Did you know that many tall buildings don't label their 13th floor as floor 13? A lot of people think that 13 being an unlucky number comes from the Bible. The Last Supper, Judas, the betrayer, he was the 13th person to sit down at the Last Supper. Many people won't sit down at a dinner table with 13 people, unless they add something to another chair to even it out, like a doll, perhaps. Then we can even look at Norse mythology, where a dinner party was ruined by Loki. Loki was the 13th guest at the table of the gods, and he plunged the world into darkness. 10% of the population has a fear of the number 13. The fear of the number 13 is called triskaidekaphobia. And I don't know if I said that right, but I tried, and you gotta give me a little bit of credit for that. Anyways, that's all that we have time for today, folks. I feel like I went over my 30 minutes, but maybe when I'm chopping this up into little sections, cutting out the pieces that I messed up, it'll be less. Who knows? Thanks for taking the time to hang out with me. Like, comment, subscribe if you want. Only leave a comment if it's nice. You know, any press is good press, they say. So leave a negative comment. I might delete it, I might not. Yeah, tune in for next week's episode where we counteract all of this bad luck with an episode about good luck. Thank you. Bye-bye.